Hey everyone, I run an AI-based service business that gives me anywhere from eight to $15,000 per month. And today I want to talk about exactly how you can do the same, how you can build and run a AI-based service-based agency, and exactly what you need to be selling, where the leverage is in the market right now, and how you can exactly make sure that that leverage is available to you as well while not chasing after the things that do not make you money month after month, that do not produce recurring income, and instead selling this one thing that your clients want. It could be any niche, any industry, doesn't matter. And this is the best thing that you can sell for making sure that your service is always available or always needed for any kind of company that you want to sell, any kind of B2B company. So the first thing that I want to clarify here is that AI service-based business, what is the definition of this uh, definition of a service-based business that I want to talk to you about? So the first thing is that it should be a digital service. So you should be selling some kind of AI-based service through the internet, through your laptop and the Wi-Fi connection. It should not involve some kind of physical product, or it should not involve some kind of brick and mortar establishment, a physical space in the world in order to for you to actually operate and scale. It should be repeatable. Should have it should have high leverage. That means, repeatable, meaning you should be able to productize it to sell it to different industries. And it should be high leverage, meaning you need to be able to arbitrage this kind of business, this kind of information, exact processes of scaling this business, and as well as um, different standard operating procedures that you build during this time to a very high leverage activity that you'll be performing while building this business, in order to make sure that any business that you're selling to will be compelled to buy, instead of and they will be able to see the ROI quite clearly. So the fourth thing is that it should be a high ROI based activity. So the AI service era is essentially consisting of, you not needing too many employees, too many contractors or employees. Like you do not need to hire so many people in order for you to both, start and scale your business. So when you were, in only in the last 6 months or so, if you were needed like six employees to do six to do about, let's say, 100 different tasks in your business. And any business is composed of like a set number of tasks that you do. So it could be taking sales calls, it could be selling or pitching, it could be appointment setting. So you'll be calling up the leads, you'll be calling up, or you'll be following up with different channels like email and LinkedIn in order for them to engage with you. And next thing could be onboarding. The other thing could be client setup. The next thing will be, so client tech setup. Uh, let's just be clear. Client tech setup. The next thing could be launch, and delivery can be in anywhere from 3 to 10 steps itself, and so on and so forth. Like communication is also one important part. So this is how you'll be uh, building your agency, your service-based business from scratch, and you'll be having like a set number of tasks, and it could be 100, it could be 25, it could be 10, but you'll have like a set number of tasks that you'll be doing every single time you want to get a client or fulfill for a client, right? So the thing with the AI native, what I call is like AI native era of service based businesses is that instead of needing 6 employees for these 100 different tasks, you'll only need like one employee instead. And the rest can be done by AI. And this is where the leverage is. This is where you're able to scale to large amounts of money, like you're able to scale to multiple different clients, even multiple dozen clients, just from using AI the correct way, and only hiring people for the human touch that your service business will require. So for example, the selling and the onboarding and some client communication parts are the things that cannot be automated, cannot be given to AI for yeah, fulfillment. There's a lot of back-end tasks and front-end tasks that can be automated with AI, but you cannot just hand over all of your client communications, for example, or all of your sales calls, or all of your demo calls, or all of your um, like weekly reporting, or going on to like check-in calls, stuff like that. You cannot hand all of these things over to the AI. So you'll have to have at least a few employees, a few people, or yourself that you can trust to do these things day by day in a very set standard operating procedure, in a very set fashion. Like you'll have SOPs to make sure that all of these instructions are followed properly, assuming that you have already laid all of these instructions out. So except the things that require human touch, the point is that you'll not need too many employees. You'll be able to leverage AI in a way that makes sure that most of these tasks can be automated and can be overseen by either you or your 1 to 2 person, uh, like 1 to 2 employees. So um, that's exactly what I mean by leverage. And the fourth thing is like high ROI based activity. So whenever you want to sell this to a client, they should be able to see exactly what the leverage is and why they should be focusing on this instead of why should be buying this offer instead of something else. It should be uh, I could say this activity, or I could say it's an offer. An offer means that you provide X in Y time for instead of Z, and X is a deliverable, Y is a very short time. Anything can be boiled down to a particular time that a client can see as a leverage as well. If somebody else is doing something in 6 months and you do it in 2 weeks, that's like an insane leverage. That's more than 12 times the leverage, right? So Y time and instead of Z. So Z is like a painful part that you can eliminate through your services through X. So your offer needs to be communicated in a form that's similar to this. And once you do that, you'll have your clients essentially eating out the palm of your hand, because you know exactly what you're talking about. You have a high ROI based offer that your client is able to understand. And this is essentially, these 4 steps are essentially the meaning of an AI based business. And if you have these 4 things, you can essentially go forward and just build your business based on these 4 principles. And even if I don't talk about the exact principles, here are some. Um, Whenever you are trying to build an AI agency from scratch, you can keep these 4 or 5 things in mind. If you are confused about whether this is a good thing to sell or not. So the first thing is exactly leverage. And these 4 things essentially define an AI era based service business. However, um, if you already have a business in mind, you'll have to run it through these 4 checklists. I think it's 3, but yeah, let's just I don't know how I'm structuring this video. I just know the exact points that I want to make. So the first thing is leverage. So let me just transition to green. So I love these colors. The first thing is leverage. And so in case of leverage, it means that what is your exact selling point, your quality compared to others that makes you unique. And this statement can be said in multiple different ways. This can be makes you powerful. By powerful, I mean an offer that cannot be refused, an offer that will actually compel your client, your prospect, to actually think about it, or sign up with you, or even make sure that you can do something like this on a trial basis. You know, and this is exactly these are the two things that matter when selecting exactly what to sell. So leverage is understanding what to sell, and stepping into the prospect's shoes for that matter. Um, so if we talk about the first thing, which is quality compared to others, you need to have something to offer that is unique, and it solves a problem. And unique doesn't have to be a completely different business model. It just needs to clearly specify that this is the exact customer avatar that you're targeting, and that this ABC is a big problem in this customer avatar, and you have this XYZ solution for this customer avatar. That's the definition of uniqueness. Uniqueness does not mean that you have to go out of your way to completely invent a new business model. Uniqueness means that you have a customer avatar for whom you want to sell. So essentially, this is a niche in very simple terms. You know, uh, this is a niche, and you have your ABC, which is a very big problem that you want to solve, and XYZ is a solution that this prospect will need day after day, month after month, year after year. It doesn't matter how long, or if it's 2026 or 2027 or 2030, they will still need it. So your solution needs to be unique. It should not just die down in like a 3 months. Otherwise, you'll have like a 50% churn, right? So this is like the first thing that you need to do, which is understand that this service has to be unique and it has to solve a problem. The second thing that you need to do is essentially make sure that your service is powerful, and it's not something, meaning it's not something that the prospect can do themselves. And once you have this established, you will understand that you have insanely high leverage if it fulfills both of these two selling points. One is, it has to be unique and has to solve a problem for a particular customer avatar. And the solution that you're selling has to be like extremely powerful. So it should have to be something that the prospect, the person that you're going to be selling to, this kind of business that you're going to be selling to, should not be able to do it themselves. And if they are able to do it themselves, and so if they are able to do it themselves, they'll be, much less likely to pay you money in order for you to solve it for them. And in the age of AI, it's extremely easy to do certain tasks, like automating digital processes. And by this I mean, you can automate lots of things with AI. You can automate lots of parts of AI service delivery, AI sales calls, AI based things like research, and creation of standard operating procedures, and even bringing on a completely new tool, and connecting different tools, and making knowledge bases of things that you want to be repeatable, stuff like that. So AI is extremely useful with automating digital processes, and if your service based business is actually just automating these processes, you can still be valuable. But um, if this client is something, if this client, if this prospect knows how AI works, or if they have dabbled in the power of AI, they will not be able to actually see the value of your offer compared to what they could do themselves, right? So if they do that, then your leverage is gonna be lost, or it's gonna be like extremely low. So you'll have to just talk to like double or triple the number of people in order for you to close one client. That's essentially what leverage means. So if you have both of these three things, like two things dialed in, you will have a much easier time selling. And the thing that I sell is essentially AI based lead generation. So essentially, what I sell is more business, more leads to B2B businesses. And this is unique and solves a problem. Obviously, every business needs more business, they need more clients, they need more money coming in. And so this is a unique problem. The avatar can be any B2B business, any B2B service based business, and it's powerful because it's not something that the client can do themselves, because that's why um, not every client can run ads for themselves. Not every client has the time to figure out email outbound or cold calling or any kind of social media automation for themselves, you know. So content marketing, video production, all of that are things that B2B businesses need on a daily basis, and it's part of lead generation and marketing that they need on a day-to-day basis. And this is not something that the owner or the founder or their team actually has the capability to solve it themselves. Otherwise, they'll be insanely successful, and they would. So the entire leverage here exists because this is something that you can solve for them. So I do it for my clients, and you can do it for any B2B business that needs leads. And that's like literally every business, because every business needs more clients, and every business um, has a dearth of clients because it's not something that they're able to do consistently. And if they are able to do, then they won't respond to what you do as outreach anyway, right? And if they have a need of more leads, they will respond positively if you construct a good offer. So remember when I told you about high ROI based offer? If you construct an offer like this, targeting B2B business for more leads, they will be more interested in hearing you out if they have not solved this problem yet. So this is your leverage. The second thing that I want to talk about is demand, right? So let's switch to blue instead. So demand is essentially you needing to convey the proposition. So let's just a unique selling proposition to your ideal prospects, right? And your ideal prospect is essentially the customer avatar that we decided right here in the previous step. So the demand is essentially you need to convey the USP, unique selling proposition. And the thing about demand is that this service, the solution that you're providing, has to be extremely valuable. It has to solve a problem that we've already discussed, right? It has to solve a particular problem for a particular customer avatar. The second thing is that it has to have demand, and if it doesn't have demand, you'll be very hard pressed to sell this solution. So if it has like a good demand, you'll be able to talk to 20 people and you'll be able to sell it 2 times or 5 times. If it doesn't have if it doesn't have good demand, so bad demand, you'll have to talk to 100 people to sell like one person, right? So that's the difference between good demand and bad demand. And how do you judge that if something has demand? Well, you can use AI. You can literally talk to chat GPT or Claude and understand exactly that this is something that this B2B business will need, and you can use AI to do that. So chat with AI. And how? Chat with AI, or you can actually just um, research. So market research is research the market. So market research is essentially, you stepping into this prospect's shoes and understanding how their business runs, and do they need a solution like this? Do they have a problem like this, and do they need a solution like this? Once you have validated these things, that what you're going to be selling is essentially in high demand, you will be it will be extremely easy for you to sell this. And the thing about high demand is that it has to be, and the second point that I wanted to mention, it should be round the clock. So prospects should need this round the clock, and it should not be seasonal, meaning people should not need this only in, I don't know, like the summer, and uh, other months of the year they do not need this service. And if your service falls into these buckets, if it's seasonal, if it's only valuable at certain times in a year, or a prospect can just solve this problem and then immediately discontinue your services. So it's like a one time thing or a two time thing, and customer does not want to keep paying you money like month over month, in order for you to stick with them and keep solving this problem on a consistent basis. If your service does not qualify as a recurring thing, that recurring problem and a recurring solution, you will be very uh, hard pressed to actually get more clients. Or if you're able to get clients, you won't be able to keep them forever. And keeping them forever is like the foundation of recurring income, recurring business, right? And you need to have that recurring unique selling proposition built in, so that if they lose you, if they fire you, or if you fire them, then they will lose a significant amount of business, significant amount of money essentially coming into their business. So you have this demand. And like I was saying, I run AI based lead generation, and this is like the easiest thing to actually sell for, because AI lead gen is essentially you giving leads to these businesses. And leads means more clients, more conversations, more clients. And if this happens, if a client gets 10 leads a month from you, and they're able to get two clients from that. So if you provide them 10 leads a month, for example, and they are able to close two clients every single month from these leads, that means a 20% close rate. Okay. So this is a very healthy close rate, by the way. 20% close rate is not something to blink about. So if you give them leads this month, they will also need the same amount of leads or more amount of leads next month, because you are actively helping this business scale their income, scale their revenue, scale their income, yes. And you're also helping this client stay active, like grow over time. And you know if you provide 10 leads a month for like 1 to 3 months, for example, and then this client has enough people in the company, or this client has scaled enough to make sure that they're able to handle even more business, so you'll be able to sell them on more leads a month, so 20 leads a month instead of 10. So you'll have even more leverage, you'll have even more demand. So and this never actually this never stops. A business will always need more money, or always need more clients coming in. So selling leads is essentially like the best thing ever because you're actively selling new business to this business, new clients to this business. So if you're able to do that, perfect. Otherwise, if you're selling something like, let's say, if you're selling something like AI receptionist, and this is your entire value proposition, what is your value proposition here? You're selling something like uh, you will take after hour calls for these B2B businesses, right? Or you'll be doing some kind of missed call text back automation for these businesses. These are two valid things. These are not something that you need to be concerned about, because these are something that every business needs. AI receptionist is essentially, it's not gonna sleep, it's not gonna take breaks, it's not gonna miss a call because it just went to sleep, or just it's after hours or the weekend. It's not a human, it's not gonna spend time with family and take off work. So you'll have a good amount of customers that want to do this with you. But the way that this translates into recurring is a bit weird, right? So recurring business essentially means you charge this client per month for, I don't know, hosting plus maintenance plus something that is equivalent to more money, like more money for this business. But the thing is that the ROI is not clear in this business, right? ROI is essentially very vague. Okay, you'll have to actually make sure that your client understands the value of this. First thing is that you have to make the client understand that taking after hour calls is important, you know. And once you have that understanding with the client, then you'll be able to show that, okay, if you take these 50% of the calls that you're missing because of a human receptionist, you are essentially not growing by 50% every month over month, or like whatever 6 months, and you are leaving a lot of money on the table, and this is how you'll actually grow. So you'll have to convey all of these things to them, and then you'll have to say that, okay, I have built your AI receptionist for, I don't know, like $4,000 for one time, and now I want to charge you 197 a month, which is like a lot of people on YouTube are just talking about, which is just extremely weird. You'll be charging this client $4,000 one time and 197 a month to just host it and maintain it. The ROI here is like extremely vague, and it's not clear at all for your client. So they will be extremely, over time, like, I don't know, they will stick with you for like 3 months, and then after that they will churn, because they will think that they no longer need this, or they will think that they can maintain, and hosting and maintenance can be done by somebody, their kid who's like a 20 or 10, 20-year old, and they have like a good technical skills, and instead of you paying you, they will be able to do it for free, maintain and host it for free. So you see my point with, like, not being able to do this on a recurring basis. If you're if your service based business relies on one time income, one time big income, and does not have any month by month selling proposition, you'll be hard pressed to actually grow your business. So that's where the AI lead gen is like the easiest business to sell, right? AI lead generation is essentially you giving directly, you directly contributing to the top line revenue of a business. So this is why it will always be in demand. You do not have to worry about demand at all. So you can literally skip this step if you're running an AI lead gen, which is exactly what I do. So if you need help with that, just look at the first thing in the description and book a call, and I'll be happy to help you out. I am just doing this for like 3 people right now. Understanding if I want to be doing this, like coaching people a little, consulting with people a little bit on day-to-day basis. So if you need help with that, feel free to call me. This is a new offer that I'm running, and if I'm able to do this, I can teach you to do this as well. And it's extremely easy. You just need the right tools and the right leverage and the right demand, right? Okay. The third thing is essentially, it's okay, let's change the third thing is product. I hope in the camera, okay, yeah, it looks good. So the third thing is productization, and by productization I mean, it should not you should not be you shouldn't be selling a new thing every single client to every single client, right? The problem with many AI businesses, for example, AI receptionist business. Okay, AI receptionist is still better than most, because you're essentially making a new uh, AI receptionist, AI voice agent for your business, for your client. But you still have to do a lot of things that are completely, out of the blue. Like you'll have to connect it to their CRM, you'll have to connect it to their website, you'll have to connect it to their current phone numbers. You'll have to manage all of that. You'll have to host it, obviously. You'll have to make sure that your numbers are rotating properly, so rotating numbers. You'll have to make sure that you're able to convey your ROI properly. This is like an extremely complex thing to convey to a client who is unaware that AI is like a leverage in this case, and it's going to help him make more money. So um, this is essentially, this is not a productized thing that you can actually scale. You can sell it for like 1 to 5 clients on a monthly basis, and maybe you can make like 10K per month, right? But the problem here is that you're going to be doing new things for each and every client that comes in. You'll be studying their business, you'll be like doing all of these connections like CRM, website numbers, rotating numbers, phone numbers essentially. I meant phone numbers. You'll be doing all of these things from scratch for all of these companies. Maybe you can productize some SOPs, but it won't be exactly copy paste. You can't copy something that worked in one client and do the exact same thing that works in another client, because every client is different and they have their own definitions of what they want when an AI receptionist talks to their prospect, you know. So that's one thing that's difficult with things like AI receptionist, or I don't know what else people are selling, AI websites. That's like an extremely weird use case. If you are selling websites for like 197 or 100 $297 a month, the problem here is that the client exactly doesn't understand that this is the offer that they need to be this is the offer that will attract more clients for them. This is a good website that will attract more clients for them, especially local service based businesses. Local service businesses actually do not understand why they need fancy AI websites or optimized AI websites or SEO or good Google rankings or you know even AI receptionist. You'll have to convey the ROI first and then make them believe that you are the good solution for this, and then you'll have to make them buy. The problem here is that essentially you'll see that all three of these steps, the leverage, the demand, and the productization, is essentially, like you'll have to do all of this from scratch. You'll have to make sure that your client understand everything in order for him to like stick to you. What you have to understand that you cannot just productize any of these things properly without any effort. You'll have to sell all of these things, and you'll have to do this manually from scratch, and these are not scalable, like these are like extremely small ticket sizes that you cannot just scale your business with. Like you'll have to get, I don't know, if you're selling something for $200, you'll have to get 20 clients to make 10. So uh, 5 clients for 1,000, 50 clients for 10,000, right? So you'll have for the same amount of money, like 50 clients to 10K. The problem here is that you can just make this with like 3 clients if you have a good offer with AI lead gen, right? And AI lead gen, you can just sell it high ticket. You can see the clients can see that this is exactly the ROI that they're getting. They can see it very clearly because it's directly contributing to their revenue, and it's extremely easy to sell. And as for productization, it's extremely easy as well. Like AI lead generation is extremely easy to productize because you have like a set number of steps. You have like things like scraping leads, building offers, building infrastructure for mass sending, like anywhere from 300 to 10K emails per day, depending on how many leads you want to reach. Building infrastructure, sending emails, or sending outbound. This can be emails, LinkedIn, SMS, things like that. So this is where the leverage with AI comes in. AI legion essentially can be boiled down to like a specific number of steps, and you can execute this exactly for each and every client. And you'll have like receipts from your previous client. So, what worked with a certain client in this industry, if you are working in one B2B industry, you'll have receipts from what worked for the previous clients to apply to the exact same things. You can do the exact same things for this new client. So it's extremely productizable, and you can essentially just copy paste all of these things, all of these steps for every client. And it's insanely productive. Like you can scale this to hundreds of clients a month. I know of several people in the space who are doing this like consistently for like so many clients, dozens of clients, tens of hundreds of clients, and they do this with extremely repeatable steps. So if you look hard enough, maybe you can productize these things as well. But the problem here is that the demand, you'll have to convey the demand, like convey the ROI properly, and you'll have to convey the leverage properly as well. You'll have to tell people exactly this is what they want, and you'll have to make sure they understand. Getting someone leads is not hard to understand. People get this out of the door. You don't have to explain that what is lead generation. They already know it's there. Like it's like bringing them more clients, right? So these are the three things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And AI lead gen is like the best. Essentially, the summary of this video is like lead gen is the best business in the AI service era. And if you can execute this properly, you can make a lot of money. So if you need my help, just book a call and we can chat about it. It's free, and it doesn't matter. Like the call is free, and we can even map out exactly what you want to do and how you can get there. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Just subscribe, because I think that most people who watch my videos are not subscribed yet. I'm like and yeah, suggest me any new videos I can make, like to help you guys, because yeah, I've gained a lot of information just from YouTube, from other channels. So I just wanted to make more videos of my own in order to give you guys insights into how I am doing certain stuff and how I think about things, and you know, so on and so forth. So yeah, hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.